Alright, today I'm gonna tell a story about a judge call that could have made me stop playing Magic if it had gone against me. So this is the Swedish Championship 2014. I'm playing for top 8. We are in the third and final game. And my opponent is mulliganing and I have a great hand. And on turn 2, my opponent attacks me with a Mutavault, which usually is a sign of desperation because my opponent is playing mono blue devotion and wants to get aggressive, and attacking for 2 means that you're desperate. You need to get in for 2 damage. I last breath the Mutavault, which is 1 and a white instant, exile target creature with power 2 or less, and its opponent gains 4 life. I'm playing a blue-white control deck. My opponent puts Mutavault in the graveyard and we proceed. I have complete control over the game. I have Jace, Architect of Thought, and the +1 basically means my opponent's creatures gets minus whenever they attack. I have complete control, a lot of cards in my hand, counter spells, life gain. And then a judge steps in and points out that the Mutavault should be exiled. Now, the mono blue devotion deck has no use for the graveyard, so the fact that the Mutavault is in the graveyard is no advantage or disadvantage, just completely irrelevant. But things should be correct. And then my opponent then issues both of us a warning because the Mutavault has not been put in exile, but rather in the graveyard, but it has no effect on the game. And at this point, I already have a warning earlier in the tournament for I have used a little bit of a joke when I made my deck. I called it an album party, which was a kind of a joke that someone got relevance because calling something an album party. If you rearrange the word, it becomes something profane. So I've gotten a warning for that. And at this point, if you got 2 warnings, you would get a game loss. So at this point, I should lose the game because of something that's completely irrelevant. The Mutavault going to the graveyard has no effect on the game. My opponent is not using the graveyard. And also, yes, it is on me to keep track on that, but it was my opponent who put it in the graveyard and I didn't really notice it. And at this point, the judge starts talking to the head judge. They are conferring. And at the end of the day, they just let us proceed with the game. I do not get disqualified or do not get a game loss for that, although I was very close. I end up winning the game easily and goes to top 8 and actually win the whole tournament. But if the judge had given me a game loss and ended my run for top 8, I think I would have been so upset and mad that I would have quit Magic. And I've thought of this story because I've heard a lot of weird judge calls lately, people getting game losses for something that's completely doesn't affect the game. And I think that the rule should sort of have a safety valve for these situations when the game is the thing that the ruling is about has no effect on the game. And this is one of those situations. So I'm happy that the judge actually got their act together and did not give me a game loss for something that didn't matter at the end of the day. So this was an interesting judge call story.